Greetings and salutations, family. It is me, Coach 67 Sports TV. Shout out to the awesome and amazing LDBC, Langston Broadcasting Community. Shout out to Envision Photography and Videography. Shout out to the Louisiana All-American Sports Network. And shout out to the greatest university in the world, the Southern University, home of the mighty Jaguars. In this particular live stream, I'm going to give my reaction to episode 1 of The Black Man's Perspective with my brothers Jared 11 Green, 7A Sports TV, and myself. It was an excellent conversation. It was great dialogue. We didn't agree on every single topic. We had opposing points of views. However, we had a very productive and healthy conversation on my brother Jared 11 Green's channel. So go to Jared 11 Green's channel. Every Sunday we do this show called the Southern Baller Show. However, just talking to 7A Sports TV and Cadillac Red and some of the other brothers, like the best conversation we have is usually backstage before we actually click the button to go live. So that was the reasoning and rationale for the channel. Not for the channel, but for the show, because in many instances, like some of the best conversations we have backstage. And then in addition to that, like a lot of the topics we talk about on the Southern Baller Show, they transcend sports. I mean, it's a sports show first and foremost. However, like many of the topics, like for example, when we talk about like the double standard between P. Diddy versus individuals like Vince McMahon Jr. and James Dolan, R. Kelly versus Josh Giddey, or P. Diddy versus Hugh Hefner, or R. Kelly versus Elvis Presley. Like you can see the clear double standard from a racial standpoint in America. In many of these topics that we talk about on the Southern Baller Show, which typically is on Sundays at 3:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, some of these topics we talk about, it transcends sports. Like it's bigger than sports. Some of these issues that you have, like even in boxing, when you talk about scumbag piece of trash Ryan Garcia and Teofimo Lopez Jr., like these are racial issues that transcend sports. So that kind of was the genesis of it, like us having these, backstage conversations. And, we just wanted more content for his channel and to draw more eyeballs to his channel. And as a result, he and I, we talked about it. We decided instead of this past Saturday doing another episode of our wire analysis, what we plan on doing is try to maybe flip-flop Saturdays, maybe one Saturday do the man's perspective and then another Saturday do our wire analysis. Either way, we're going to talk behind the scenes and figure it out. Like we really hadn't figured it out all the way yet. But at the end of the day, like we wanted more content for his channel and some of the best conversations that we have. And even with the Southern Baller Show, truthfully speaking, I feel like it's the best like sports talk show on YouTube that nobody even talks about. Whether it's, myself, Jared 11 Green, his brother JB, his twin brother JB, whether it's the brother Jay Good, the brother Brent Fox, Big Joe Townsend. Like, these are some of the best conversations from a sports standpoint on YouTube. And I don't feel like he's getting the eyeballs that he needs to get to his channel. And he's not getting the credit he deserves for having such a dope show with such great content. And we just needed to add more content to get more views, to get more eyeballs on his channel. And basically, that's where the black man's perspective came from just a lot of the backstage conversations that we have. And not only that, but some of those conversations that we have on his channel that crosses racial lines. So that's the reason why we came up with the black man's perspective. And, we talked about a handful of different topics. Of course, I gave you the reasoning and rationale behind us, doing that show. But, we talked about like a few major topics, well, 4 major topics in particular. We talked about Kevin Samuels, how so many content creators are using the Kevin Samuels blueprint and then using his talking points for their relationship shows. We talked about the controversy with Kendrick G. We talked about the gender war, and we talked about, the black nuclear family. First and foremost, to start with the gender war, we kind of all came to a consensus that the gender war is stupid. And the reason being is because, with the Willie Lynch letters and white supremacy overall, they've used a lot of different tactics to divide the black man from the black woman, the black man from the black family, to divide the black family in general. And they use a lot of different, like Jedi mind tricks to divide black people, whether it's colorism, whether it's putting the black man against the black woman, the African versus the African American. And we can't afford all this tribalism as a black community. Like, we need to be together. We need to stay on code, and we need to be unified. And that's the biggest threat to white supremacy, is black unity. So we all need to stay on code. We need to support black businesses, and we just kind of need to be on one accord. And the man where you strengthen the black community is if you bring the black man and the black woman together. And not only that, but you make the black nuclear family a thing again. There needs to be a black nuclear family in terms of, us coming together, us being on one accord. And when you have more than one vision, that leads to division. So there needs to be one vision. We need to be unified, and we need to all be on the same accord. So, that's the main thing we talked about in terms of one of the topics is, the gender war is stupid. The reason being is because if it was productive conversation that came out of it and actual solutions to actual problems, then we would be like, all right, it's cool. But in many instances, the conversations are circular. And what I mean by that is, I'm just saying, all right, just even if you look at it from a relationship standpoint, if you've been in a relationship and you're a man and you're trying to speak from a logical perspective, and there's a woman that you in a relationship with, and she's emotional and she's speaking from an emotional standpoint, you're arguing. The man is trying to use logic and the woman is trying to use emotion. And in many instances, they don't see each other's opposing points of views, and it's a circular conversation, and you just kind of continue to go round and round in the circle, and you don't come to a conclusion in how to resolve the problem. So in many instances, when it comes to the gender war, like, the conversations are circular, and people don't come to the table in good faith and say, all right, hey, we legitimately come up with a solution to this problem. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know for a lot of these content creators, it's just entertainment. It's just a way to get clicks and views and likes and subscribers. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna have these conversations, like, they need to be productive conversations. And on the other side of it, you need to have like actual legitimate solutions to problems, as opposed to just kind of using the same talking points and you going in circles. And with that being said, in terms of, the gender war, having like a lot of circular conversations, it kind of brought us to the Kevin Samuels point. A lot of content creators have used either the Kevin Samuels blueprint or Kevin Samuels talking point. And what I mean by the Kevin Samuels blueprint is, this is what I mean. like you have content creators like maybe Stacey Prince or Black Guru, and I'm not hating on those individuals. I'm just saying Stevie Wonder could see that clearly in terms of their attire, in terms of the suit, the glasses, the look. Like both of them are clearly imitating Kevin Samuels in terms of look, and really to a great extent, to a certain degree, using Kevin Samuels' talking points. Now, don't get me wrong, nobody is going to completely copy somebody and do everything they do 100% of the time exactly the same way they did it. I'm not saying Stacey Prince or Black Guru are exactly like Kevin Samuels, but clearly in terms of the optics, in terms of the way they dress, the way they present themselves, and even some of the talking points they use, they clearly use Kevin Samuels' blueprint. Now, you know, one of the things that I kind of disagree with, a lot of individuals have been saying that Kendra G has used Kevin Samuels' blueprint also. I think she has a dating show. I think her platform is different than the platform that Kevin Samuels had. Don't get me wrong, in both instances you call in, Kevin Samuels gave women like relationship advice and dating advice, whereas, you know, with Kendra G, it's a dating show. So that's one thing that kind of makes those two platforms different and the dynamics of it different. But even with that being said, she was on Kevin Samuels' platform. And to me, it kind of seems as if she didn't learn anything from him. However, it does seem like she used a lot of his talking points. And, you know, a few weeks back, like right around Valentine's Day, she was on the Tamron Hall show. And, you know, she was on the Tamron Hall show, and I'm not lie, like she really, in my opinion, she really had she had a very poor showing of herself. Like, to me, like the way she presented was very unflattering. You know, to say she's been in media for this long, she didn't have any decorum. To a certain degree, it was like a lack of professionalism. And at the end of the day, I don't think she presented herself well. And as a result, Corey Holcomb on his platform, you know, he talked about her. And he was saying, you know, first and foremost, you know, he was saying that she lacked decorum and she, you know, she showed a certain degree of unprofessionalism. I'm paraphrasing. Of course, he don't use as many big words as I do. However, basically that's what he was saying. And he was saying not only that, but she's not that bright in terms of not that intelligent. Like if she's not cutting and pasting or copying and pasting Kevin Samuels' talking point, anytime she has to use free thought and think independently on her own, like she's not that intelligent. And I'm not gonna lie, I wholeheartedly agree with him. And at least in regards to those 2 points, and basically what he was saying is, you know, she stole Kevin Samuels' whole swag. I think she stole his talking points. I don't think she necessarily like copied his platform verbatim. And that kind of led into, you know, of course we talked about, you know, different content creators, whether it's, well, at least me personally, talked about, man, salute to my brother, Soul Power, a.k.a. Gam Kennels. Man, y'all go check out that brother's, check out his platform, his YouTube channel. I shared the link for the live stream he did today is in the post section of my channel. Go check out his channel. Go like his content. Go subscribe to his channel. But what I was saying is, you know, basically, you know, we talked about different content creators using Kevin Samuels' blueprint, Kevin Samuels' talking point. And the major content creator we talked about in terms of using his talking points and his blueprint was Kendra G. And of course, you know, the brothers, we had opposing points of view. Me personally, I don't think she stole his platform. I think she kind of stole and she kind of used a lot of his talking points And many content creators do, like the brother 7A Sports TV was saying, a lot of these people use his talking points. However, they don't have the requisite relationship experience and knowledge when it comes to dealing with the opposite sex to pull it off. More than anything, it's a hustle. It's not anything genuine nor legitimate. That's like me saying, hey, I'm a soccer expert, but I never played soccer and I don't know anything about the game. And you might have great soccer content creators, and I use their talking points when I'm debating soccer topics. And essentially, a lot of these relationship experts, a lot of these gurus, when they use Kevin Samuels' talking points, that's all they're doing. They're just kind of regurgitating the things he said, and they're using that in their arguments when they're debating or whatever the case may be. So, I think we was kind of all in agreement on that. But in terms of Kendra G, we talked about how, she hasn't presented herself well recently in these last few weeks. And basically how she didn't look great on the Tamara Hall show. Her and Corey Holcomb kind of had this back and forth. And it kind of led into the most recent Kendra G controversy where this guy, Papa Dan, he came on her platform and came on her dating show. Evidently, he was on her show in 2022. And basically he moved from one city to another city. And he, was looking for love. And he went on her show and he was saying that his ex-girlfriend, she trapped him with a baby. And Kendra G, she kind of sarcastically was saying that, hey, oh, were you great? And he was like, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, I was. And then, of course, she gave him a ridiculous amount of pushback. Like, she wanted to know the details of the story, so on and so forth. And, I called her a feminist and a misandrist. And it's the reason why I had the point of view on episode 1 of The Black Man's Perspective when it comes to Kendra G is because I understand in the world we live in, there's an infinite amount of double standards. If a man has a lot of women, he's going to consider to be a player. If a woman has a lot of men, she's considered to be a 3 or 4. If a woman is emotional and she cries, she's just emotional. However, if a man, cries, basically, they're going to call him soft or sensitive, or even further, they may call him a vagina or something like that. But at the end of the day, we understand there's double standards. However, in this gynocratic society that we live in, a lot of these women, when they say men are misogynists, in all actuality, they're really misandrous because they can't see things from the male's perspective and from the male's point of view. And if a woman came on Kendra G's platform and say she was great, she would, offer that woman her sympathy. She would empathize with her, and she wouldn't want her to relive her trauma. She would just move on and go to the next thing. But when it came to him saying what he said, she gave him a ridiculous amount of pushback. And everything that he said, she tried to argue back and forth with him. And her overall perspective was, you're a man, you can't be great. I'm kind of paraphrasing what she said. And, the reason why I say that's misandry is because, the double standard in a normal situation is cool, but when a man has some type of trauma and you give him pushback as opposed to just, she'd have been better served if she just would have said, all right, well, hey, I just, hey, let's just move forward. But she kept trying to argue her point and go back and forth with this man on what he went through and what he experienced. And like I said, she just looked so bad in that interaction with him. it really made her look like a stomped down hardcore feminist. And to a great extent, it made her like a misandrist. And she had a very poor showing of herself. And then at the end of the day, instead of coming out and publicly apologizing to him, that would have been the good thing, the right thing to do in her instance. It would have been the right thing to do. However, what she did was just delete the live stream and act like nothing happened and just kind of move forward. And a lot of people are talking about canceling her. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm not big on cancel culture. I don't believe she should be canceled. However, I think the right thing to do would be for her just to come out and just apologize and say, hey, I showed some poor judgment. I was insensitive. I didn't empathize with this man. I showed him no sympathy. I apologize, Papa Dan, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, and just keep it pushing. But, as one of these modern women who avoids accountability like kryptonite, basically she came out and, she act like nothing happened. She deleted the live stream. She took it down and she act like it never happened. But the thing about it is, in today's day and age, in 2025, in the social media era we live in, if you're a popular individual and you put something up, like it's there forever. Somebody gonna screenshot it, somebody gonna record it, somebody gonna download it, whatever the case may be. And that's the thing about it. Theo from the Do Better podcast, mediocre tourism reviews, Don Lexi, like so many individuals have the interaction between Kendra G and Papa Dan, and as a result, like, everybody doing reaction videos to it. And it's so deep where certain content creators are using fair use to, look at the interaction that she had on other people's platform. And it's just making her look so bad. And not only that, but she doesn't like people using her content. Maybe about a month or so ago, she was saying that all these men, they don't know how to build their own platform from the ground up. So they need to leech off of her and use her content. And she said they all have small penises and they beat words and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, bro, this is one thing Corey Holcomb said. He said Kendra G likes to present herself as being this classic individual, and that she's not like the bottom dwellers, the bottom dwelling women that come on her platform. And he was saying that she's no different than them. And I agree with him 100%. Kendra G is just like her followers and just like the people that support her platform. Like, she tries to present herself as a classier version of these bottom of the barrel women that come on our platform. But that whole interaction, it just showed that, man, she, like Corey Holcomb said, she's not that bright. She's not that intelligent. And she has to use any independent thought. Like, she does a horrible job at that. She's not a free thinker. If you really can't cut and paste or copy and paste or have everything laid out for her, if she has to just think independently, man, she does a terrible job. And at the end of the day, I'm not even gonna lie, like that whole interaction, it made her look bad. And instead of her just, like I said, coming out and being a decent human being and apologize and say, hey, that was unbecoming of me. Instead of her, being reflective and saying, hey, that wasn't a good look. She dodged accountability like Superman avoids kryptonite. And at the end of the day, it's like, man, it made her look like a scumbag, trash bag human being. And, I'm not for canceling her. I'm not for that. I don't want her to lose her livelihood or lose her platform. But at the end of the day, if I was a man, as a man, I would not go on her platform whatsoever. Because clearly she's a misandrist. And she's not a misandrist from the standpoint of, she wants to unalive all men. She wants to delete all men. But she has no empathy or sympathy for men. Just watching her platform, I've watched like multiple episodes of her dating show. And I'm not going to lie, at this point, I just really can't stomach it. It's disgusting to me because if a woman comes on our platform, like I've literally seen women with 3 kids for 3 different men, 4 kids for 4 different men, 5 kids for 5 different men, 6 kids for 6 different men, 7 kids for 7 different men. And to a certain degree, she gives them a certain degree of pushback, but she's not going to cross certain lines. So I think more than anything, I think the pushback that she gives the women that come on a platform, it's kind of Kevin Samuels type pushback, but except in a real watered down type way. However, when it comes to the men, like, she wants all the smoke. If a man made a couple poor choices in his life, a couple poor decisions, like, she wants all the smoke. She has no empathy for them. She has no sympathy for them. Like, she just really going at them, like, to the fullest. And whether she realizes it or not, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know we live in a gynocratic society, because I saw, like, this case study on social media where they had this woman and this man and this woman together, right? And they were walking down the street, and she was hitting him, and nobody came to the man's defense. In fact, there was even an instance. It was a white man and a white woman. There was an instance where, like, a few different women was like, "Yeah, girl, you go, girl, go get him, girl." In fact, there was an instance where, like, another guy even, like, slapped him or something. That, just kind of like, "Yeah, get him, girl." And I'm like, man. Then they took the same scenario and then reversed the roles. And he hit her, and a black dude, like, was swinging on him. And I'm like, bro, this is crazy. Like, you don't know what's transpiring between him and her. You don't know what's going on. You intervening in these situations, and it has nothing to do with you. She could be totally in the wrong. You don't know what this woman did to this man, but you jumping into the situation. So at the end of the day, man, salute to my brother Big Joe Town, standing on LDBC business. Salute to your family. And at the end of the day, like, I kind of feel like she's a misandrist and she's a feminist. And, her being this strong, independent woman that she is not productive for healthy, balanced relationships in terms of from a romantic standpoint. And somebody like her, that's the reason why she's never gonna be able to keep a man, because she's a feminist, she's a misandrist, and she has this strong, independent, I don't need no man type of energy. And modern women don't understand that is man repellent in 2025, unless you have a guy that's willing to bow down to you and really concede to you and kind of let you do what you're gonna do. A real masculine man he really not trying to come home from a long day work, a long day on the job, and have a woman that's going to go back and forth with him constantly, that's going to nag him, that's going to aggravate him, that's going to irritate him. Well, man, hey, men want femininity, and women don't understand that femininity is their superpower. But some of these modern women is so masculine, and Kendra G is just one of them. At the end of the day, they don't understand that that's a real turn off for men. And more than anything, Jared 11 Green, 7 Day Sports TV, the brother Big Joe Townsend, and myself, like, episode 1 of the Black Man's Perspective. It was great dialogue and great conversation. If you have not caught episode 1 of the Black Man's Perspective, please go over to my brother Jared 11 Green's channel. Go check out that live stream. It was excellent dialogue. It was excellent conversation. And at the end of the day, like, these are the uncomfortable conversations we need to have in the Black community, so we can end this gender war, so we can get back to healthy relationships between Black men and Black women. And not only that, but so we can rebuild the Black nuclear family and rebuild the Black community. I appreciate everybody that came through, that dropped in, that showed some love. And all the individuals that's going to watch this on playback. I appreciate all the subscribers that's been rocking with me since day one. All the subscribers, all the new subscribers, everybody that's supporting the channel. I just want you to know you are valued and you are much appreciated. But that's the end of this live stream. I'll catch y'all on the rebound with just more content and more Southern University content in general. I'll catch y'all on the rebound. Y'all have a blessed, phenomenal evening. Blessed, phenomenal day tomorrow. Just a great rest of your work week. Catch y'all on the rebound. Peace and blessings.